How do you tell your children that you have cancer? That conversation might be one of the hardest moments of this journey. In this episode, we're talking about fear, the guilt, the tears, and how to help your children feel safe when your own heart feels overwhelmed. Because, friend, there's no perfect way to do this. It's only love, only grace, and taking it a day at a time. So come sit with me. Are you scared of leaving your children behind after a breast cancer diagnosis? Are you carrying fear, exhaustion, and that mom guilt while still pushing through every day? If you're tired of holding all of that and want simple ways to support your children and feel held in your journey and move through each day with a little more strength, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Priska. I'm a mom of two, a woman of faith, and a breast cancer survivor. As a mom, I tried to carry it all alone, but I was never meant to. So I created this space for us. Come sit with me. You don't have to do this alone. So go grab your cup of tea. Yes, that cold cup of tea. I know you've heated it thrice already. And let's get started. Hey friend, before we get started today, I just want to say I'm really proud of you for showing up for yourself today. I know life can feel really heavy sometimes, so the fact that you pressed play, it means more than you know. And if you know someone who's going through a breast cancer diagnosis who might need to hear this episode, please do share it with them. Sometimes a simple message saying, "I thought of you when I had this," can make someone feel a little less alone. And if this podcast has helped you or encouraged you in any way, please leave a written review too. I truly love hearing from you. And your reviews, they help other moms find this podcast. So let's get started. Hey friend, I don't know where you're listening from today. Maybe you're driving, or maybe you've just pulled over somewhere quiet, or you're lying in bed, and maybe everything feels a little bit heavy right now. But I'm really glad you're here, because today we are talking about something that honestly might be one of the hardest conversations you will ever have. It's telling your children that you have cancer. And I want to start here because one mom said something to me that never left me. She said that telling her kids felt like she'd shattered their innocence. Like she'd taken this safe little world they were living in and introduced something so scary into it that she could never take it back, and she carried that like guilt. And she says she still thinks of that moment and it has never gone away. And if that's how you're feeling right now, I want you to hear this gently. You're not breaking your children. You're walking them through something so hard with love, because this is something hard for you, and yet you have to be strong for your kids. You're showing up. You're not breaking them. And there's a difference. So I'll take you into my moment because I remember it so clearly. I'd been holding onto this news for a while, trying to process it, trying to understand it myself. And I was scared, I was apprehensive, because saying it loud to your kids makes it real. It makes it real in such a completely different way. It's like, this is it. How are they going to react? So we didn't tell them straight away because we'd made a decision to wait until we understood what this meant, until we understood more, treatment plan, everything that comes with this journey. But also because I also needed to get myself emotionally ready. And if you're right there now, that's okay. I want to tell you there's no perfect timing. Do only what feels right for you, because you've got to be ready, mom. You've got to be ready. So when the day came, we chose a day, we'd set a day when we'd, tell them, it's something you've got to prepare for. So we'd had a really busy day, and so we chose a time where we had to be back home to break this news. And we went to the living room, sat in the living room and, just settled. So I'd encourage you to choose a calm and a safe space for the kids while you're telling them, because they need to feel that, safety and that calmness. So my husband starts the conversation, and he started, with something simple. Has any of you noticed something different with, mommy and daddy working patterns? Because we'd been working a lot from home at that point. And my daughter says, "Oh, have you guys, you seem to be leaving and coming back at the same time. So are you working in the same office now?" So it, started as banter, but, you've got to find something to start, a conversation, find something easy to bring in the conversation. And so Tony goes on with the conversations, and, he says, "Well, mom's not been feeling okay, and we've been going to the doctor, so that's why you've been seeing us a lot together. And the doctors have found some bad cells, and mommy would need some medicine, and it might make her feel unwell, but it will be to make her feel better." And I remember I was watching them, and Ashlyn paused. She was trying to understand. I could see this going on in her head, and she was trying to understand, why would medicine make mommy feel bad? And then I looked at Austin. He went quiet, thinking, processing. And then he said, "Does mommy have cancer?" And this is important. Children sense when something is serious. Children know. So Tony said yes. And then came the questions. So is the medicine chemo? Mama, did you catch it early? And in his own way, Austin was trying to make sense of it all. He's a really clever boy. And he even reassured, and I said, yes, I caught it early. And I didn't even know what what he meant, but I just said yes. So he came and reassured me and said, "Mama, you'll be fine, you'll be okay." And Ashlyn, the moment she heard the word cancer, she froze. Her eyes filled with tears. And I pulled her close and held her. And then she asked the question that, that will shake you to the core. And she said, "Mommy, are you going to die?" And this is the moment you think you have to be strong. And you think, I can't cry, I have to hold it together. But let me tell you this, there's no right or wrong way to show up. You can be strong and still be emotional. In fact, your tears are your vulnerability. They teach the kids something powerful. They show them that it is hard and it's okay to feel that way. So if you cry, that's not weakness, that's connection. It's permission for them to feel that too. And at that moment, you can reassure each other, you can hold each other and tell each other that you're in this together. You can hug each other and be in that vulnerability. And something that else that really helped us was when we'd been planning how to tell them, we'd planned for a day out the following day. And so what we did after the conversation, we just didn't leave them sitting there in that heaviness. We left them with something to hold on to, something to still remind them that, yeah, life still goes on. Yeah, there's this big news, but life still goes on, because these are kids. They need, they need some reassurance that life is not changing. So we told them the following day we were going to go for a drive to Victor Harbor. And for them, that meant fun. It was a drive. It was going to see animals. There was rides. There was ice cream, food. And you could feel the shifts. You could feel from that heaviness to something light. So encourage you as you're having this conversation, find something that will anchor and shift that conversation to something safe and familiar. Because even in the middle of the hard news, the kids still need to feel like life is still happening. And I can tell you that night when they went to bed, they went lighter than I expected. And I remember thinking, phew. And also, wow, these kids are really strong, and they're really stronger than we think. So I'll walk you through a few other things that helped us, and they might help you too. So when you're having this conversation, be honest. You say enough to build trust and not to overwhelm them. And also use age-appropriate language. And you might even choose to have the conversations separately, so you know your kids best. You know, some kids like direct, they like the facts. And some kids, you have to toy around, and you know your kids. But be honest. And just say enough to build trust. Do not overwhelm them. You're not giving all your burdens and your worries to them. And the next thing is reassure them. They didn't cause this. They are safe. They are loved. And you're going through this, and you will be there, and you'll be there for each other. And also prepare them for changes. Let them know what to expect. Let them know that you'll be tired. You'll look different. Let them know that a few things might change in their routines. And so they're not shocked when this happens. So when things, your hair starts falling off, when you're constantly in bed, they kind of know that, yeah, I think I remember mom saying this and now it's happening. So prepare them for changes. The other thing I'd like to encourage you is to invite questions. Let them ask as many questions, and sit with them in that space and answer them, and assure them that they can come back again and again, because this is not one conversation. It's not one conversation you have and that's it. This is just the beginning. So invite questions and keep that connection strong. Keep that so that they're able to keep coming back. Give them hugs. Give them, make sure their routines still stay, the same as much as you can. Be there for them. So keep that connection strong. And sometimes you may not know how to go through about this, but there's practical help that's around, because you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to carry this through this alone. So reach out for support. There's incredibly lots of support. There's a lot of support online where you can get resources on how you can take your kids through these conversations. If you're here in Australia, you've got your breast care nurse who can guide you through these conversations. You've got Cancer Council, and they've got free counselors that you can reach out to, and they can connect you, and they can help you have these conversations with your children. And we've got Canteen, an incredible support for families and kids, especially teenagers. So I'd encourage you to reach out to them. And Camp Quality, I tell you, this became a beacon of hope for us. So it gave our kids something we couldn't. It gave them a connection, because it's the other kids going through the same thing. So there was a connection for kids. They got to meet other kids who understood exactly what they were going through. And for us as a family, they provided emotional support, practical support, and even financial support. And it reminded me of something, that you're not meant to do this alone, even though sometimes it really feels like it. But I truly, and I know, and I can assure you that God sends the right people at the right time, and exactly when you need them. And sometimes help looks like a nurse, or a counselor, or a program like Camp Quality, or another mom who's going through something similar, or a stranger who is kind and says a kind word to you. So don't be afraid to reach for it. And I want to leave you with this. The thing that I struggled most with through this journey was trying to balance being honest with my kids and protecting my kids. Sometimes I think I got it right. Sometimes I am sure I did not. But what I've come to understand is this: there is no perfect way of doing this. There's only one love, a mom's love, and there's grace. And showing up a moment at a time. And this journey is a journey of grace. And 5 years later, as I sit here, I want to remind you of this verse, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, that says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness." So you don't have to be strong. God will carry you through. His grace will meet you in your weakness, and He will bring you the support that you need. I hope this episode held you in some small way today. And if it did, please share with a friend who needs to hear this, or maybe needs a soft place to land. And if you feel ready, please leave a written review for the podcast. I'd truly love to hear from you and to know that this show is supporting you in your journey. This space, it's not just mine, it is ours. So now go take a breath, maybe reheat that tea one more time, and I'll meet you back here for the next episode. Ciao.